Imagine this. You type one sentence, and instead of a single assistant carrying out your request, an AI spins up an entire team of other AIs, each with a specific job, connected to the right systems, collaborating in real time, and keeping everything running without you touching a thing. It's not a pitch, it's not a concept. This is happening right now with the latest update to Abacus AI's Deep Agent. And the way it works could quietly redefine what automation even means. It's not a pitch, it's not a concept. This is happening right now with the latest update to Abacus AI's Deep Agent. And the way it works could quietly redefine what automation even means. But here's the thing. The most jaw-dropping part of this update isn't just that it's faster or more powerful. It's how it can adapt, grow, and even design its own systems on the fly. Which is where this starts to feel less like a tool and more like a kind of digital operations brain. You might remember the old way of doing automation. Build a static assistant for one task, integrate it into your workflow, and hope nothing breaks. Now imagine tearing that model up entirely. Deep Agent doesn't just execute, it architects. You tell it your end goal, and instead of asking you to map every connection, it works backward, figuring out exactly which systems to link, how to make them talk, and when each part needs to fire. The kicker? It builds every agent dynamically. These aren't dusty templates or pre-made scripts. They're generated in real time, adapting to what you need, not the other way around. And this is where Model Context Protocol, or MCP, completely changes the playing field. Think of MCP as the Rosetta Stone for AI systems. Without it, different platforms are stuck in their own languages, unable to collaborate. With it, Deep Agent can suddenly bridge gaps you might not even realize existed. Linking models, CRMs, analytics platforms, and proprietary tools into a single, fluid conversation. If you've ever wrestled with a fragmented tech stack, this is the part where your brain starts spinning with possibilities. But hold on, the wildest demonstrations are still ahead. Open the updated Deep Agent dashboard, and everything's in one environment. Your chat LLM and your automation builder. No bouncing between separate tools. Inside, you'll find starting points that are more than templates. They're blueprints for entire systems. Want a CRM? Click, and it constructs itself behind the scenes. Need a high-res sales chart with seasonal spikes in March and November, grid annotations, shadow lines, labeled axes? Just describe it, and it appears. No code, no formatting, no wrestling with Excel. And when you decide it should show 2025 instead of 2024, you don't rebuild it, you just say it, and the entire file updates, title, visuals, everything, in seconds. This conversational editing applies to creative work too. Imagine asking for a one-page PDF flyer aimed at small business owners with a dark background, specific imagery, and a bold headline. Deep Agent might ask you to clarify the flyer's purpose or audience, then fill in every design decision automatically. You want the colors changed from blue to purple and red. It's a single line of text. Now here's where I think a lot of people's jaws will drop. Deep Agent isn't just a one-task wonder anymore. It can now spin up multiple agents at once and have them work together as if you'd spent hours building a team in some expensive automation suite. Picture this. You ask it to keep tasks synced between Notion and your project tracker. It identifies the systems, builds the connection agents, and sets up the data flow instantly. Or you describe a social media manager, and it assembles one, pulling trending hashtags, generating captions, scheduling posts, and pushing everything live without touching a separate scheduling platform. Need to schedule a Google Meet? It checks calendars, books the meeting, sends invites, and, if you want, adds transcription and recording, Even historically painful integrations are now effortless. Connecting Jira and Slack used to mean multiple trigger setups, field mapping, and hours of testing. Now you just say, "Tell the Slack team when Jira issues hit this status," and Deep Agent builds it end to end. And here's the part that really makes me wonder about the future. These agents don't get stuck in one role. If you replace Slack with Teams, you don't start over. You just tell Deep Agent, and it reconfigures itself. And if a brand new compatible system comes online tomorrow, it can detect it and extend your workflow automatically. The way it runs feels almost alive. You give it a prompt, maybe answer a follow-up or two, and then it creates the agents, assigns their tasks, wires them together, and starts executing. You can watch the whole process in detail if you want, and if something's off, you don't have to crack open a single menu. You just tell it what to change, and it adapts. And the scope here is massive. Data extraction, marketing campaigns, communications, workflow management, full system integrations. All fair game. And because these agents are generated on demand, they're shapeshifters. You could start with a sales chart generator, bolt on a PDF creator, integrate both into a marketing system, and have it auto-send the final asset to your team. One continuous, living workflow. What's fascinating is how future-proof this feels. These agents aren't waiting for you to tell them about new tools. They can discover them, integrate them, and keep your processes moving without a full rebuild. With MCP in the mix, you can even chain agents in ways that didn't make sense before. An analytics model runs the numbers, a natural language model writes the report, and a publishing agent formats and posts it. No human in the loop. And that's where my mind starts racing. Because this isn't just an upgrade to an automation tool. This is automation designing itself. In the old days, you had to think in terms of tools, which apps, which integrations, which APIs. Now you can think in terms of results. I want this outcome. And Deep Agent reverse engineers the system to make it happen. Marketing teams could launch campaigns without touching multiple dashboards. Ops teams could generate and distribute reports without opening a single spreadsheet. Developers could integrate platforms without writing a single line of glue code, and updates that used to take hours are now just a few words away. Which makes me wonder, when AI stops just doing the work and starts designing the way the work gets done, what's the limit? Because the more I look at this, the more it feels like we've crossed from automation into something much bigger. And in a few minutes, I'll show you a scenario where this could run entire business functions without traditional software at all. But first, let's talk about why this shift might be the beginning of a new automation era. Thank you for watching.